Hey there, it's Tony, another episode of Marketing from Humans. And today we're going to talk about something really different, a little off the track. And it's this single word that I think drives a lot of entrepreneurs and it drives a lot of success in the world. And it's this idea of belief. And when I say idea, it's an action, it's an idea, it's something that it's a mental construct. Okay? So we're going to talk a lot about belief today, and I'm going to share a story with you, something that had happened to me in my life that I think kind of illustrates the point. So before I do that, please follow this channel, like the video. I'm going to be dropping a lot of things this next couple of weeks, and you don't want to miss out. Okay, so let's talk about belief. Neither one of my parents graduated from high school, and in my extended family, nobody had gone to college. Both my grandparents back during before World War II, they had graduated high school. And then my mother on her side, only one sister, she has two sisters, only one of the sisters graduated high school. So they're all high school dropouts. And then on my father's side, same thing, he was a high school dropout and some others. Yeah. So I as I'm going through school, there wasn't a strong emphasis on school itself. And I was pretty good in high school. I did sports and I got good grades and I tried really hard. And my mother, she really wanted me to graduate. Okay, I was the oldest of my mother's kids. And so she was always in this weird spot where she didn't want to push me to excel or get straight A's or anything, but she wanted to push us to graduate, me and both of my younger brothers. So I'm going through school, I'm doing well, I'm in a lot of sports. I had 3 varsity letters, and I'm getting towards graduation, and I can't figure out what am I going to do when I graduate. And one of the things that happens is my dad had started a business. It was my stepdad. He started a business, and the business blew up, and my parents lost everything just a few months before I graduated. Okay, and I mean they came, they took the house, they took the cars. I mean, they lost everything. It was just this horrible thing, bankruptcy times 10, and it was like this life-changing event for them. And so, like my dad, he had a mental breakdown, and he was hospitalized for stress and then so at the time we were living in Reno, Nevada, and just outside of Reno. But we were from Montana, and my dad really wanted to move back to Montana. He was from Missoula. He wanted to move back, and he's like, you know what? We don't have anything anyway. We've lost everything. So they literally just loaded everything they had left in the back of a pickup truck. They rented a U-Haul and they moved to Montana. And I didn't know what I was going to do, so I ended up enlisting in the Army, and I didn't even apply to any colleges or anything. And for some reason, when I was in high school, I had got this belief that I would go to college and I would try real hard to go there. And so I enlisted in the Army. I got the GI Bill. I got the college fund. And in those days, it was like $30,000. This is the 80s, so it seemed like a lot of money at the time, which in today's days, $30,000 for college is nothing. But that's what I went for. Okay. So I enlisted as a mechanic, and, big toolbox, working on trucks, working on Army systems. I go to basic training, I go to my advanced individual training, and I end up, I get stationed in Germany for my first duty station. And I'm over there, and I have in my head, I've got this goal that I want to go to college. I want to try something, and I believe I can do it. And one day I get this additional duty, and I'm working at a rifle range in Germany. And so I'm like camping out at the range. So every day I go to this range and I'm helping people shoot, and I'm shooting myself. And we got to shoot German weapons, American weapons, some NATO weapons, lots of stuff. And one day I'm out there, and I grew up around guns, and I'm shooting a rifle on the range, and I'm knocking down targets. And there's this lieutenant who's there, and he sees me. And at the time I was a I was either a private E1 or maybe an E2, which is like the second enlisted rank. And this lieutenant comes up to me and he's like, I have never seen anyone as young as you shoot in the way that you do. You know, and I'm a good shot. Even then I was a good shot. I got better later. And he's like, you should try to go to West Point. You could be on the rifle team. You could be on the pistol team maybe. I was like, all right, what's West Point? So he explains it to me and he says, why don't you apply and just see what happens? So I get all excited, and it just happened that we had another officer in the unit that was a West Point grad, and he lived near the prep school down in New Jersey, and he was going on leave. So this is back before the internet. So when he comes back from leave, he actually remembered to do it. He'd stopped by the prep school, and he picked up an application on how to go to the prep school and how to go to West Point. So I applied to West Point. I didn't get in, and then I applied to the prep school. And so you got to understand what this is like. It's like getting into the military academy is really hard. Getting into the prep school is really, really hard. But when you go to the prep school, you're not guaranteed entry into the academy. What they do is they give you a chance to compete against the other prepsters and against the other candidates that are going to West Point, and just to try to get accepted to better your application. So I go to the prep school. And you got to understand, you get there and like half of all of the prep school kids are athletes, so they're all American athletes. These are college, Division I college athletes. And here I am showing up, and I'm a decent athlete, but I'm not college level athlete. I'm a decent student, but I'm not by any means a genius. And so I go there and I just struggle and grind, but I believed I could do it. And I tried really, really hard. I worked my butt off for a whole year. So we worked really hard, and in West Point and the prep school both, they have they really high attrition rates where a lot of people, get kicked out or drop out or quit, for whatever reason, because they're hard schools. And there's a lot of really, really difficult things you got to deal with, and they're draconian. At least they were when I was there. So finally I make it. I believed I could. I graduate from the prep school and I get into West Point. Okay, so just completely unlikely. So now I'm at this really good school, and I'm the first person in my entire family going back ever to go to college at all. And I was lucky that I graduated high school. I had no examples of anyone in my family doing that. So I get into West Point and I realize I am in over my head, and academics just about killed me. I just wasn't that great of a student. I was good in some things, but not in others. And I just wasn't prepared, especially for the math side. I wasn't prepared at all. Not like I should have been. So for 4 years, I struggle and struggle and struggle. And, I finally graduate. And when I look back, I look at everything that happened, what was the one thing that drove me forward? And it was this internal belief that even though no one in my family had been an example to do that, I had looked around and I saw that other people did it, and I believed that I could do it too. Okay? And that belief drove me forward. And years later, way long, this is a long time ago. This is almost 25 years ago that I graduated there. Is that every time I've really, really faced adversity, whether it was physical or mental or in a business, every time I always come back to one thing, is that have other people done this? Have other people been successful? Then why not me? And when I ask that question, it helps me build the belief that I can overcome what's happening. Okay? I can find a way around all the obstacles that are blocking me from my goal. Oh, hey, get a little heavy, need to lose some weight. Well, other people have lost weight. Why not me? I can do it too. Okay? Oh, you ran a mile? Okay, I can do that. Oh, you went to Ranger School? You graduated? Hey, if you can do it, I can do it too. Might take me 3 tries, and it did, but I graduated. Okay? Belief. So one of the first things that you want to consider anytime you take on something hard, whether it's starting a new business or you're trying to learn a new skill. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and it took me years and years and years and years of training and failing and getting tapped and getting hurt, going back, week after week, week after week, month after month, year after year. And then one day I'm a black belt. It just happened. Sheer force of not quitting. Okay. So belief, I'm telling you, that is the driving force of almost everything that's going to happen to you. You might fail in the short term, but if you believe you can, then more likely than not you can. Okay? Now don't start messaging me and saying, "Oh, well, I'm 4'10" and I want to be in the NBA and belief's not going to get me there." Yeah, there's a lot of edge cases. But in general, for most things, you can accomplish anything else that anyone else has done. You just got to believe that you can. And then you got to put your whole heart into it. You got to give it everything. You can't hold back. You can't negotiate with your goals. Okay? You've got to choose purpose over pleasure and go after it. There's just no other way. There isn't. Okay? The world is not just going to hand you your dreams. It's just not going to happen. All right? So there you heard it. Belief, maybe the superpower of our time, and focus. Okay? So until next time, this is Tony Butler, and this is Marketing for Humans. Be well.